I'm going to call this meeting to order. Madam Secretary, can you do a roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Rhonda Contreras,
Present.
Ms. Trish Boughton.
Here.
Tricia, for the record, is that Bratton BR?
Yes, it's TRICIA,
Okay.
and it's Bratton, BRATTON.
Okay. And you had clarified that via email also.
Yeah, thank you.
Ms. Jean Bowerman,
Here.
Ms. Pat Langdon,
Here.
Elizabeth Gomez here,
Present.
City Manager Derek Martin.
Here.
And do we have Keith, Public Works?
He was here.
He might join us a little later. Thank you, ladies.
He said he would promise to water your trees.
Thank you very much. And on the agenda, we have the approval of minutes, July 24, 2025. And you know, Miss Melody was not here. Nancy is no longer with us, so I would like to table that, if it's okay.
If I could have a proper motion list to table those.
Can somebody make a motion to table those minutes?
I move that we table the minutes from July 24th, 2025 for the time being.
I second.
Thank you.
Okay, we have approval in a second. Everybody?
Aye.
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 Okay, so new business and old businesses. I would like to, if that's possible, to switch that around and go with the old businesses. We were supposed to check on prices for the purchase of trees for the grant that we are gonna be accommodated with, or go with the new business, I don't know.
Have you all received any quotes yet?
I have, and I brought them to Nancy, but knowing that she's not here, I have them on the phone.
Okay. If you want to email them to me.
I've had no
maybe we can-
response from Bloomers.
Okay.
They don't sell wholesale trees.
Oh,
I mean, they sell retail.
I don't have them with me at this point, and I apologize. I've been spinning plates on the budget. I will email you, and today before we leave, if I can collectively get your emails, I can BCC you all, so there's no sunshine issue, but I will make a couple recommendations for some companies that you can reach out to. It's really important when we're looking at these trees that we don't just look at cost, but we also look at the caliber, not no pun intended on caliber, but the caliber of the trees that we're getting. We wanna make sure that where we're buying these trees, that we're getting the best, the healthiest trees that we're gonna be able to get. I think that I have some information to give you all, and I can disseminate that after this meeting today. And if you can, please email me over what you have already, that would be great as well.
Do we have some size specifications? Because I don't know that was ever
2
clarified.
to 4 caliper.
2 inches,
It's calipers. We have a tree
that's
expert
an
here.
inch, right? That means inches, Chris.
Usually it's based on the pot size, not.
Pot
just the
size, so I
diameter.
believe it's gonna be a 30-gallon.
Yeah, at 30, that's what I got from Perez,
Okay.
I thought it
30
was
gallons.
based on the diameter of the trunk.
Yeah, that's the,
It's a deliverable in the grant. It specifies the calipers.
The caliper,
It does, they don't care about the pot size.
no.
It's in
which
the grant.
caliper is
It's a
the inches
deliverable.
of the
It's
stems.
the inches.
Yeah, and if you're approaching a company, you're gonna tell them it has to be a 2 to 4 caliper tree.
I
That's gonna
talked
be
to
hard to get
Perez.
a 4-inch. I mean, that's like a.
Well, and you don't have to,
Burlap.
remember, we have, we're looking for the 35 trees, that is part of the grant, what we have to have, 35 trees. And those are the perimeters that you have to play with. Now, I think I won't wanna say in the paperwork, they did talk about a gallon size, but.
Yeah.
And I wanna say it was 30 gallons, but we can look back at that as well. Time is of the essence.
Right.
We do need to move on this. We have until, I believe, the summer of next year to have everything complete. And that's all finished work, but I think that with the time frame we have now, if we are able to move on something quickly, we could probably get it in before the winter time, and that's not, that'll be fine. And we'll make sure everything's watered in and taken care of.
So Derek, when I spoke to Perez, I tried to explain the 2 and 4 caliper, but he was talking gallons.
Okay,
They do,
30 and 15, 15 being the smallest and 30 being the next. So I thought that's a good size 30, so
Yes.
I don't know.
I believe 30 is gonna be
30
what we're shooting for,
Yeah.
at least, yeah.
Also, delivery is gonna be a extra
Extra.
charge.
Okay.
We already knew about that, and he also said when we go to purchase, we have to have a certificate from the city that we are tax exempt.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and before that happens, of course, we will help in review, like I said, of those documents, for the quotes.
Okay.
And, when collectively we decide where we're gonna go to purchase, said trees, we'll provide that, tax documentation for you.
I just wanted a show of hands, if anybody here got any quotes, like you actually spoke.
yeah,
I spoke
did.
to one person,
I
one,
spoke to 3.
so that's 4 right there,
Okay,
between her and I that we
okay.
have. Did
One is-
anybody talk to Lisa that the mayor requested?
Who's Lisa?
I don't know, she said that she knows of a person named Lisa and somebody that also has some digs into wells, that, Wells Farm.
We have prices from
them?
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
got it, thank
Lisa
you.
got those
Okay,
last year, yeah. One of my contacts was a broker, so he can basically get anything from anybody
Okay.
at wholesale,
okay, so,
at any price and size.
And I think, again, I wanna go back to the importance of qualifying
Right,
these,
quality.
these individuals or companies for the quality.
Mhm.
That's the most important part, because if you buy something that's not of quality, then you're gonna have a dead tree, and that's not good for the grant, the community, or the city. So just, think about that when we're looking at these companies.
For the broker, does he charge a fee?
Well, he gets them in for the price that he quoted me.
But he,
Which was-
nothing.
I can tell you that. I'm sure they don't, but they probably get a better price than if you just went and got a wholesale price, because they're quantities, they're brokering. So,
Their prices will be built into the price of the tree.
Right.
Because they're broken that deal with the guy in volume, so that's how he's getting paid.
okay, so, first of all, before I forget, I wanted to thank the audience for being here. Thank you for showing an interest to being here with us. And now we'll move to new business.
can I make a
Yes,
whole
ma'am.
business? You were gonna check into the America in Bloom months ago, see what we would get for the $99 a year.
Yep, I checked on that and, they told me the same thing that you had on the pamphlet, the minimum for $99. So me, myself, I'm not interested on it. I don't know if anybody else is interested. I know Commissioner DeVito is gonna talk about something else that it might be better for us. She is gonna be,
It's different.
it's different, but I like it better than the American Bloom. They're not really giving us anything that we cannot get for free online without having to pay $99.
You're getting the knowledge of the people to come tell us or give us a consultation as to what we.
They're not gonna come here, they
Yeah.
just send it to you through the mail. It's only,
I think-
through mail.
Lisa DeVito might have a comment on that.
So, anybody else interested in American Bloom? You already
I don't think we know
checked.
enough about
You
it
already
to make that decision.
Just what I'm interested in looking at it for.
You can bring someone here for free. I know someone who's a judge, if
Okay.
anybody's interested in listening. But
Yeah.
he's in Orlando. He's not gonna wanna drive up here and have no one listen to him, you know?
You can have him during our time, maybe 15, 20 minutes. Commissioner DeVito?
Okay.
So, is this on? No, it's
No.
not. Sorry. No, it's still not.
Should be checking.
Check.
Okay, check. Okay, so for American Bloom, the introductory rate is $99. I thought it looked good. And I asked for it at our budget workshop for it to be put in our budget because they're organized and this is what they do. They consult with cities and they would provide us information. And I don't know who we could get to come here for free to give us advice. So I requested it to be put in the city budget, and the rest of the commission was okay with it.
Okay,
It sounded to me like it's a very professional organization. It was Gene Bowerman who first brought it to our attention. So Gene, do you have second thoughts on that?
No, I don't. I think it's great. We should check into it instead of just,
Right, well, for $100, if they give us a consultation, I don't know how we could do better. I mean, it's $150 to get one arborist to come and give an evaluation of one tree. So to have someone do an overview of our town, and they're professionals, I didn't see that it would hurt, and I wanted to speak to it now because I did bring it up at the budget workshop, and it was agreed to. And as well, Chairman Gomez mentioned the other issue that I have to present, which is the Arboretum issue, but they're really separate. One does not replace the other. It's two different kinds of things. One's a consultation and a recommendation, and one just applies to maybe a smaller part of town. So anyway, just wanted to let you know what I did, and it's because of Miss Bowden.
one could help the other. The America in Bloom could help
Yes, they could help the other. I
to
would,
get to the other.
I would agree with that. So anyway, so you're still on your business items, and when you're ready, just call me and I'll talk about the property.
okay.
So right here on my agenda, I don't have anything under new businesses.
That would be new. We're still on hold if anybody has any hold.
So old, I don't have anything under old either. I think it was just the grant and checking the prices. That was the only old. So Lisa, is back to you if you want to talk to us about Arboretum or Arboretum.
All right, and I think when the mic was off, I forgot to say my name for the record. It's Lisa Kane DeVito, 108 South Main Street. In front of you, you should have a piece of paper that says art.net. And I'm sorry, I will give one to the clerk, and I think I don't have an extra, I'll make it later. It's not complicated, but I need to give this to the clerk.
Do you need more copies?
Not right now, it's pretty simple. So, and I have other copies, I just can't lay my hand on them because they got mixed in with the budget workshop papers. So essentially, I and 3 other people from Crescent City went to the Historic Preservation / Main Street Conference that was held in Fernandina Beach, Florida, which is up in, I believe, Nassau County. It's north of Jacksonville, and the town of Fernandina Beach is the county seat, and it's on Amelia Island. How many people here have been to Fernandina Beach? Anybody else? Okay. I grew up in Florida, but I had never been there. And Fernandina Beach, the reason Main Street Conference was held there is because they have a very successful Main Street program, and as well, they are a very historic downtown. It's, I would say, similar to Crescent City, but much larger. They have the courthouse in the middle of town, they have commercial buildings, they have residential buildings. And it's just, it's been very well preserved as well. Their Central Street, theirs is called Center Street, the English spelling like CENTRE. And those side streets are absolutely beautiful. They are shaded with oak trees, they have lovely plantings. It must be in their code, a lot of the electrical equipment for the commercial and residential buildings and the churches, have nice, shading by bushes, screening by bushes, whatever. And then I was noticing there are some flyers, there are banners, and there are signs in town that say the Gardens of Amelia Island. So, and there are signs and banners like the banners we have here. They say Gardens of Amelia. Actually, they say the Gardens of Amelia. And it turns out that downtown Fernandina Beach is an accredited arboretum. That means a botanical garden. And I'll just read the description. You have this on a piece of paper. It says, the Fernandina Beach Main Street Arboretum is an outstanding example of the successful combination of natural and historic conservation with public education and economic revitalization. Historic downtown Fernandina Beach is tucked away in the northwest end of Amelia Island, one of Florida's most stunning destinations and southernmost of the Sea Islands. Amelia Island is home to a wealth of native wildlife, extensive stretches of inviting beaches, and large areas of protected state and local parks and trails that plays a significant role in Florida's ecological health and coastal resilience. Remarkably, even with the urban downtown district, a significant portion of our historic maritime forest tree canopy remains intact. Many of Amelia Island's most awe-inspiring heritage live oaks reside within the Fernandina Beach Main Street Arboretum. So the designated gardens are in the Main Street area. We have trees that are larger than their trees. And I looked up, if you use the QR code on the signs, they're a level 1 arboretum. There is no cost to apply for the designation. You do have to have an organization to take responsibility for the maintenance of the arboretum, and I have not looked into what that would need to be. It has to be open to the public. That's kind of a no-brainer, right? If it's your city streets, it's pretty much open to the public. And this is how it relates to Tree and Garden Board and Crescent City's public rights of way and parks. The role of the Tree and Garden Board is to make recommendations about the planting and maintenance of what is in the rights of way in the parks, and also to look out for the flora and fauna and the general ecology of Crescent City. That is part of being designated an arboretum. That's part of what it's all about. To be level 1, as I said, you have to have an organization to be responsible. You have to make a plan. And as well, you have to mark some of the different plants. In other words, it's part of it is educational. And that is also, if you look in the ordinance for the Tree and Garden Board, one of the responsibilities of the Tree and Garden Board is public education. And if you have an arboretum, they kind of give you a structure. They suggest areas of education that you might want to engage in. But one of the first ones is to qualify, you have to mark the different plants in your arboretum area and say what those are. And of course, in addition to oak trees, magnolia trees, other trees, we have the beautiful camellia bushes, 20-something in Eagle-Line Park. We have azalea bushes. We have the prehistoric kunti and plants. We have palms. So to me, would have a dual purpose. It would be something that could guide the focus of the Tree and Garden Board is to, learning more about what we have, marking it with little signs that would let the public know, and et cetera, et cetera. And there's more information about this. I want to get that to the city manager, and if y'all, want to discuss it, and let me know if you want more information. I'm happy to provide.
I have a question for you. What do you mean by organization to be responsible? You don't mean the Tree and Garden Board, it will have to be another different organization?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. That's to be determined.
But it's part of the requirements to be a member of the ARPANET to have an organization?
Well, let's put it this way. You certainly have to have somebody to apply. I mean, and then you're supposed to have a plan. And I get the feeling that they might help you with the plan. You could probably get a copy of somebody else's plan. Probably you could get a copy of Fernandina Beach's plan.
I was gonna ask you if you talk to anybody at the organization in Fernandina Beach that is responsible for their arboretum.
No, I have not done that yet. Right, so I haven't done that yet. I spent 3 days at the conference in July, then I spent another 3 days at another conference for the cities in August. So I'm a little short of time for researching, but I did look into this. What did the Gardens of Amelia mean? And that's what it is. And quite frankly, I think we have more mature plants than they do, although they have more shaded streets. And I think this could be a good thing, but no, I don't know exactly what kind of organization.
We can find out, I mean, that's something we can do.
Any feedback from the board about it?
I think it sounds like a great idea.
Do we know the application process or?
I just know you don't have to pay.
That's all.
And they put that right at the top of the list. So, okay, that, and I've got a little bit more information, I just didn't have time to make all the copies. It's not extensive, and I do have a contact for Fernandina's, Main Street program. When I went to the conference, they gave us, I think an email or a phone number.
Okay, if you don't mind, I can take responsibility for that since I'm part of the Main Street and I'm here the chairman. Maybe I can reach out to them and ask them those questions about organization and.
It's actually on their website, so it doesn't have to be a legal governing board. It just has to be more than one individual, and it can be community volunteers. So it is listed on their website.
Okay,
That sounds easy.
But, I personally, I just wanna get out there and get little tags and label all those camelias that we don't want.
yeah,
Because we have some very beautiful varieties.
yeah, and we were talking about maybe even in Eva Lions Park, having bigger metal, plates stay in the name of the trees and how old that, we thought that would be very educational when we have Arbor Day and our activities over there.
Yeah, and, yeah, I think I mentioned that last year, because, Ravine Gardens has that. But that would be part of being an arboretum,
Yeah,
and then you can advertise yourself.
I think it will be a nice show and tell for kids' education when we have Arbor Day there too. Thank you, Mr. Vito. Anybody else? Okay, so, I guess
I'm wondering if, Alice has some business, some new business. We still on new business?
we are on new business.
I don't know if this is old or new.
Well,
I
come
don't
on
either.
They finished old, so
Oh, okay, so we're in new.
Alice McCoy, 315 North Summit. As you know, the Rotary, got into sponsoring, Crescent City is a monarch city. So far, we have purchased all the signage, which was, I think, $650 or $700. All the signage is here. You may even have one sitting in your office because Charlie Rudd had one of the sign.
I think we have one, yeah.
They are supposed to be put at the entrance to the city where the city signs are.
You're talking about the arbor sign, correct? Or the arbor sign, Tree City, or,
Monarch.
oh, it's Monarch,
Monarch,
okay,
for the butterflies.
okay.
And we're trying to save everything, trees and butterflies.
Yes, we are.
And so there's supposed to be one, we got, I think we got 4, but there's supposed to be one coming from the north, one coming from the south, one coming in from 308, and one coming in on, I think that's Junction Road, isn't it? Is that Junction Road? So, you should have 4. You may or may not have all 4 of them, but I know you have at least one, because, I came in and discussed with him, gosh, years, I don't know how long ago, about, putting them in, and I think they were waiting to get new signage or something, is what they were waiting on.
Okay.
So we have done that, but part of the 2 other things that, in order for us to be a monarch city, that we have to do, the city did the proclamation, that's done. The signage we have to do a garden. There's no specifics, on how large it has to be or any designation, but we have to plant native milkweed that will help them in their migration north and south. And we have to try to educate the community and the children and everything about the monarchs and their migration and their importance to pollination and everything. So my question to you is, where are we with the garden? How can we move that along? Because there was a discussion of it being over on Lake Stella, and that still seems to be the best place to put it. But there also have been some suggestions that it be at the library. There was a suggestion that it be at one of the churches. The concern that the Rotary Club has is not getting it to happen. We can help make it happen. The concern is maintaining it. So we feel it really probably needs to be on either city property or public property where they're going to maintain it over the years. And so that's my question. Where do you want us to go with that?
I have a comment about the city doing the maintenance, because I don't see it happening. That I would think that it'd be better to be on a private location and find some volunteers. Like, do you see the city putting more time into maintaining another location with a garden in it?
Not really.
I'm trying to be realistic.
And I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'm sorry, Jean, and then when we discussed these plans last time with Karen Hayes, it just became too overwhelming because there were too many issues going on. I myself been talking to Chris Elder, he's right here, because we were thinking about, he's been an educational teacher, and he was thinking, and I was thinking, because there was grants for the library to have a native garden, and I brought it to my board. They said, okay, but then I just don't want to have too many people in the pie and somebody saying no, yay. I just want everybody to get along. And I told Chris, he did some drawings of a small garden at the library that he even volunteered to do the watering for it, because that's our main concerns.
That is our concern.
But then my library board told me, is he gonna take care of it? I'm like, no, he's not. He's just getting it ready. We cannot even dare think about that he's also gonna be our maintenance guy. So it's us, the library board, that will have to take care of this garden. So right there, I see, just like with us, when we gave these clusters to Downtown Partnership, we just stepped back, and me being part of the Downtown Partnership, I had to be watering and taking care of those clusters for the last 4 months. And it's a lot of work. So that's why when we decide we want to have a big event like this, we have to have actually a schedule of people that are going to come and volunteer and take turns for this garden. Not just, hey, we done it, we wash our hands for the maintenance of it, because that's the hardest part.
Right, we're not a maintenance group, we are advisory.
Yeah.
So there needs to be, we just advise. I think there's several people in town that think we are the
The
weed-
caretakers.
Right, the weed pullers, et cetera.
Are there people in the Rotary that might want to maintain that garden?
There is,
The problem is, it's not up to, I'm not a young person. Many of us in the Rotary are not necessarily young, and we hate to commit,
Yeah.
for future generations to have to do something. I can't guarantee that in 5 years, there's going to be people taking care of that garden. It really needs to be.
We need to get the schools
That's
involved.
what I was-
It's gonna be on public property.
or a 4-H group, or,
Not that we have a very active high school Rotary group here at high school. I'm not saying they couldn't volunteer and come once every few months and
Yeah.
lead it or what, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't want to commit to a permanence of that. And if it's gonna be on city property, then the city would be responsible for making, you know, it's not a complicated thing either, because it's just some plants, it's not complicated.
Well, they can look,
Yeah,
they
it's a
can,
discussion that the commission would have to have and approve to move forward. I mean, I can let you know that Public Works and staff are very, tied down with existing work.
it's gonna look like a weed garden.
And it's not budgeted as well,
Yeah.
and that's what's gonna happen.
Right.
I will tell you, if you need a volunteer for one of those things, I love plants, and I'll volunteer my time to help out with it as well. There's gonna be down seasons that you're gonna have to clean those up and get them ready for, spring and other types of time of the year, but, it's not a lot of work, but it is when you're talking about Public Works and the guys that are mowing the streets, and then it takes away from their schedule of maintaining, roadways and drainage and all of that. And let's face it, love those guys to death. I'll go to bat for them all day long, but they're not flower guys, They're not gonna, they don't have background in that. Especially if you're talking about specialized plants and stuff. Hey, you wanna come up and talk? Sorry, I see you over there wanting to
This is Chris Elder.
add to it.
Yeah, Chris Adler, 1965, County Road 308. My thought is, practically, nobody wants to add more onto the city's docket. And I think there's a possibility of acceleration through collaboration. So I'll use the example, not that this is what I'm suggesting, but possibly, something like a club like Rotary or the Women's Club that has a space like behind the Women's Club building that could be made available. So if the land is made available by one club, if another club or organization is able to donate those plants, the reality is when you're looking at monarchs and butterflies and honeybees, that's not a pretty formal landscape for the middle of the city. That's a more wild, naturalized space that's an informal garden. So you think about, like, I helped design some of the Bok Tower gardens. So when you go behind the Bok Tower gardens, they have a naturalized space that is intended to be low maintenance. It's natives, it's not annuals, high maintenance stuff. It's meant to grow and thrive on its own. So it gives those bees, the birds, the butterflies that native habitat. So once or twice a year, you go in and maybe do a class, and we do an hour class and we do an hour practicum where everybody goes in the garden and we cut things back and you take home seeds to your own garden. So I think those things would be possible if there was a club that was willing to donate the plants. If there was somebody, I would be willing to design it for you. And then another organization that's like, hey, we would host the class to be able to see this done. Putting it in a city park or in a city landscape isn't gonna give the city the wild aesthetics that those bees and butterflies actually need. But I think if you had a plan, for that with a couple of organizations, I think that's very doable.
So Chris, you and I went to the library because the library right there is in front of 17.
Right,
And that's a lot of wow when people drive by and see it.
correct.
If we make it small, is doable. The thing is, with the women's club, we brought that idea already a year or so ago, and they don't want the responsibility of somebody being back there and breaking a leg. So they said, who's gonna pay the insurance? And they brought it back, they threw the ball to city, and city said no. But the library already there in assistance, we can do what you and I already talked about. The library is on board and they wanna hear you, you're gonna be one of our guests, and then we can start with them. They are willing to do it as an educational garden, like you said, and maybe Monarch too.
Yeah, I think it's very, very doable.
So to me, that was the next step, going to the library, which I already brought it to the board. And they said, okay, and start small right there in front of the library under that cluster of trees that is being all fixed. Yes, ma'am.
Lisa Didio again, I think Chris Edler has you on the right track. Because I thought the garden that was proposed for Lake Stella was not a good design for a butterfly garden. For one thing, butterflies need cover. They need protection from the wind, the west winds coming there with the storms. The butterflies, the plants were gonna be planted in the middle of sidewalks. Butterflies need cover. They don't need to be surrounded by concrete with people standing over them. They have to have cover. They need, and it was out in the bright sun. And a long time ago, we talked about this. Nothing should be, where they can't have cover. And also nothing too close to the highway where the draft from trucks could take out butterflies, so that's not good. I can't find a picture on my phone, but I did take a picture of a Rotary established butterfly garden in Wilmette, Illinois, that I passed by, and I parked and I jumped out of my car. And it was exactly what Chris said. It was in the middle of town, but it was a large area. Somewhere I took notes, it was about I pasted, it was about 50 by 100 feet. And it looked like a thicket, it's not an ornamental garden, it looked like a thicket. And what was really interesting was it was about my shoulder height. There were seats outside the butterfly plants where you could sit and observe the butterfly area, but it was posted and it said, no dogs, no people. You were not supposed to go walk amongst the butterfly plants. So, like I said, it was about 50 by 100, very wild. There was a mowed grassy strip around it, and then there were benches for people to sit or, do whatever. I will try to find the photo. Because it sounds a lot like what Chris is talking about. And then
Would this be too close to the highway
Which,
in front of the library?
I think you're talking about in that.
I would say that.
Yeah, and that.
More naturalized space.
Right,
versus
and better
the
in
formal
back.
front
And
space.
you could even have a sign in front with a big picture of a butterfly with an arrow, that says where to go find the butterfly garden. The other thing is, I think I remember when the city adopted the proclamation, that in addition to the garden, just the education part was separate. And that the proclamation said the city would encourage residents to plant nectar plants. We had there's a whole difficulty of the milkweed and whether it's native or non-native. So I think, and I would have to go back and look at the proclamation, but part of the requirements could be satisfied by the Tree and Garden Board doing education or Rotary doing education. Just in letting people know that they can plant butterfly plants and maybe making those available. Maybe Rotary would sell them. So that's just
That'd be great.
a thought, but I think Alice and Chris have things on the right track.
Thank you.
So it looks like we're down to location.
Location.
Okay, as you know, Bill Pickens is our new president this year, Rotary in Crescent City. And he just came off of the county commission. And I was talking to him about, our project, bringing him up today. And he was questioning, because the county owns the property where the library is, do we need to get a special thing from the dispensation, or whatever you call it, to tell us that we have the permission to do that on the library property? And if we do, what's the next step that we might need to go to do that?
And to be honest with you, Alice, the deal with the library and the board and who owns and who doesn't own, I don't understand, because apparently the library leases the building from the library board, and the land belongs to the library board, that is Crescent City. So I don't know, Lisa, do you know? It's just a big issue, so
Ask the city manager.
I asked Nancy Taylor and she told me there was no problem. It's our land,
Okay,
it's our land,
okay, it's our, that's fine.
but they maintain
Make
it.
sure we didn't go all out and step on somebody's, toes and get in trouble, so.
The county maintain it for us.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, any more comments? If not, Madam Secretary, I'm gonna adjourn this meeting. Unless there's
I have a comment.
comment, okay.
We need to get some trees planted.
Mm-hmm.
So, just want to remind you, please send me
Yes.
over the quotes that you have, and then I will get back with you. I'll send you the information I have as well.
Okay,
I was looking in the grant, trying to see in the grant itself what it said the size was supposed to be. And in the education part, I believe there's a percent of the population that we were supposed to reach out to. And I don't think we've met that criteria.
I believe that was only through public meeting, and we should have had, I believe last time we had enough people in here. We had, I think, counted 5 or 6 in the meeting. That's all we did.
That was enough? Okay.
Yes, and we also, Commissioner DeVito reminded me about some of the deliverables that we had to have, and Christina took care of that with the grant administrator. So we sent all the information in, and we're up to speed on all that. We're ready to move forward.
Okay, so the email we're sending to you is to city manager.
City manager at crescentcity-fl.com.
Okay, I see that.
I'll give you all my card too.
Okay,
I have 2 new cards, so I'll
Okay,
give you all my
all
cards,
right.
my phone number's on there, email, I'll be there.
okay, ladies, gentlemen, especially the ladies on the board, please make sure that, you respond ASAP to that, so we can get on board with getting some trees.
Yes.
This meeting is adjourned.
Now we're already adjourned though. I do have a question and another one for you. Are we specific